The Air Force just ordered 104 F-15EX fighters for $23 billion. That's a 50-year-old design competing against China's Stealth J-20 and Russia's Su-57. Defense analysts called it backward thinking. Pentagon critics demanded answers. But the engineering reality tells a different story, one that changes everything you thought you knew about modern air warfare. The F-15EX isn't outdated technology. It's a calculated weapon system designed to solve a problem stealth fighters created but can't fix. And when you see the numbers, you'll understand why the Air Force made the smartest procurement decision in decades. Here's the challenge nobody talks about. The F-35 Lightning II dominates through stealth and sensor fusion. Radar can't see it. Enemy pilots don't know it's there until missiles are already in the air. This technological superiority wins first engagements decisively. But stealth creates a fundamental limitation: internal weapons bays. To maintain that tiny radar cross-section, the F-35 carries weapons inside the fuselage, 4 to 6 air-to-air missiles maximum. Once those are gone, the aircraft either goes home or sacrifices stealth by hanging external weapons. Now imagine a Pacific Theater conflict scenario. China fields over 1,000 fourth and fifth generation fighters. Your stealth jets achieve perfect kill ratios in the first wave. 4 missiles, 4 kills. But hundreds of enemy aircraft remain. Your F-35s return to base, rearm, and fly back, a process taking hours. Meanwhile, China's numerical advantage floods the battle space. You need volume of fire. You need aircraft that carry enough weapons to stay in the fight. The F-15EX solves this with brutal efficiency. It carries 12 AIM-120 missiles simultaneously. Not 4, not 6. 12. Each missile has a range exceeding 100 miles and a kill probability that makes enemy pilots sweat. But the engineering gets more impressive. Those 12 missiles represent just the air-to-air loadout. Add precision-guided bombs, anti-ship missiles, or standoff weapons, and the F-15EX hauls 29,000 pounds of ordnance. That's more than a World War II bomber. You're watching a weapons truck that flies at Mach 2.5. While F-35s carry enough missiles for one engagement, a single F-15EX handles 3 separate combat scenarios without returning to base. The mathematics change everything. 2 F-35s deliver 12 missiles total. One F-15EX delivers 12 by itself and costs half as much. Here's where the cost reality hits. An F-35A costs approximately $160 million per copy when you include development, procurement, and initial support. An F-15EX, $90 million. Same mission computer processing power, same AESA radar capabilities, same fly-by-wire controls, but 60% of the price tag. Pentagon accountants did the math. For the cost of 10 F-35s, $1.6 billion, they acquire 17 F-15EXs carrying 200-plus missiles instead of 40 to 60. Both aircraft integrate with the same data links. Both communicate with the same command networks. Both launch the same weapons. The operational difference? The F-15EX brings overwhelming firepower at a fraction of the lifecycle cost. Critics argue stealth matters more than weapons capacity. They're not wrong in contested airspace, but modern air campaigns don't unfold in contested airspace after the first hours. F-35s and F-22s eliminate enemy air defenses. They destroy radar installations. They remove surface-to-air missile threats. Once the door opens, you don't need more stealth fighters conducting milk runs. You need trucks carrying enough ordnance to exploit the opening. The Air Force learned this lesson in every conflict since Desert Storm. Stealth kicks down the door. Fourth-generation fighters flood through carrying the weapons load. The F-117 and F-35 suppress defenses. The F-15 and F-16 deliver sustained firepower. This high-low mix wins wars. The F-15EX simply makes the economics sustainable for future conflicts. But weapons capacity alone doesn't justify the procurement. Here's the operational advantage that sealed the decision: availability rates. The F-35 averages 50 to 60% mission-capable rates. That means on any given day, half your fleet sits grounded for maintenance. Complex stealth coatings require hours of upkeep. Advanced avionics demand specialized technicians. Low observable materials degrade from environmental exposure. You bought 100 F-35s, but only 50 to 60 are ready to fly. The F-15EX maintains 80% mission-capable rates using proven airframe technology refined over 5 decades. Maintenance crews already know the platform. Parts supply chains exist. Training infrastructure is established. When you need aircraft in the air, F-15EXs deliver sortie rates that stealth fighters cannot match. Let's translate this into combat operations. Your carrier strike group faces a threat environment requiring 200 daily sorties. With F-35s at 55% availability, you need 364 aircraft stationed on the carrier and nearby bases to generate 200 missions per day. With F-15EXs at 80% availability, you need 250 aircraft. The logistics and basing footprint shrink dramatically. Now factor in sortie generation time. F-35s require extensive post-flight maintenance, stealth coating inspection, sensor calibration, advanced diagnostics. Turnaround time averages 3 to 4 hours between missions. F-15EX crews inspect the aircraft, refuel, rearm, and launch again in 45 minutes. In a high-intensity conflict lasting weeks, this cycle time advantage delivers thousands of additional combat hours. You're seeing the picture now. Stealth fighters excel at specific missions, penetrating denied airspace, eliminating high-value targets, achieving information dominance. But sustained air campaigns require volume, availability, and cost efficiency. The F-15EX provides all three while integrating seamlessly with fifth-generation systems. Here's the capability nobody expected from a legacy platform: modern sensors. The F-15EX carries the APG-82 AESA radar, the same technology generation as the F-35's APG-81. It tracks multiple targets simultaneously at ranges exceeding 100 miles. It maps ground targets through weather. It jams enemy radars while scanning. This isn't your grandfather's F-15 radar. It's bleeding-edge electronic warfare integrated into a proven airframe. The mission computer processes data at speeds comparable to fifth-generation fighters. Sensor fusion combines radar, infrared, and electronic warfare information into a single tactical picture. Pilots see the same God's-eye view F-35 pilots see, just without the stealth advantage. When operating behind F-35s that already cleared the threat environment, that stealth advantage becomes less relevant than weapons capacity. Flight performance remains brutal. The F-15EX achieves Mach 2.5, faster than the F-35's Mach 1.6. It carries more fuel. It flies farther. Combat radius exceeds 1,200 miles with internal fuel only. Add conformal fuel tanks and external tanks, and the F-15EX reaches targets F-35s cannot access without tanker support. In the vast Pacific theater where distances measure thousands of miles, this range advantage determines which aircraft reach the fight. Structural improvements matter more than most realize. The F-15EX airframe supports 20,000 flight hours. That's double the original F-15C design life. Fly the aircraft 200 hours per year, typical for peacetime operations, and it remains serviceable for a century. The Air Force won't replace these fighters in your lifetime. They'll outlast the pilots flying them today, their children, and possibly their grandchildren. This longevity creates acquisition flexibility. Buy 104 aircraft now. Upgrade systems continuously over decades. As threats evolve, swap the mission computer. Integrate new weapons. Upgrade the radar. The airframe remains constant while internal technology advances. Compare this to the F-35. where major upgrades require extensive software rewrites and structural modifications. The F-15EX's open architecture allows rapid technology insertion without rebuilding the entire aircraft. Watch what happens when you combine these advantages in a realistic scenario. Pacific conflict begins. F-22s and F-35s achieve air superiority in the first 48 hours. They eliminate enemy air defenses. They destroy command centers. They create the operational window. Now comes the sustained campaign. You need aircraft bombing ground targets, interdicting supply lines, providing close air support to advancing forces. This phase lasts weeks or months. F-15EX's cycle through missions carrying massive ordnance loads. They launch 12 air-to-air missiles to cover friendly forces. They drop precision bombs on enemy armor. They fire anti-ship missiles at naval targets, all in a single sortie. Return to base, rearm in under an hour, and fly again. Meanwhile, your F-35s conduct specialized missions requiring stealth, but the bulk of combat operations flow through weapons trucks that stay airborne and deliver overwhelming firepower. The Cost Savings Fund more F-35 procurement. Instead of choosing between 300 expensive stealth fighters or 200 cheaper fourth-generation jets, the Air Force fields 200 F-35s plus 300 F-15EXs. The total capability exceeds either option alone, stealth where needed, volume where advantageous. Both integrated through the same networks and commanded by the same battle managers. Critics miss the strategic brilliance. This isn't choosing old technology over new. It's recognizing that different missions require different tools. You don't clear a building with a sniper rifle. You don't conduct sniper operations with a shotgun. Air warfare demands the same mission-specific approach. F-22s and F-35s are your precision instruments. Expensive, specialized, deadly. F-15EXs are your reliable workhorses. Affordable, versatile, sustainable. China's watching this procurement with concern. They built stealth fighters expecting America would counter with more stealth. Instead, the Air Force deployed a mixed fleet that exploits stealth for opening moves, then floods the battle space with conventional fighters carrying twice the weapons load at half the price. The People's Liberation Army Air Force must now defend against both threats simultaneously. Their SAM systems face stealth penetrators while their fighters face missile trucks. The strategic calculus shifted. Here's the final reality nobody mentions. The F-15 platform has never lost an air-to-air engagement, ever. Over 100 kills. 0 losses in air combat. 50 years of combat operations across multiple air forces. The F-15EX inherits this legacy while adding technology that makes the original design look primitive. You're getting proven lethality enhanced by sensors and weapons that didn't exist when the first Eagles rolled off the production line. This is how smart procurement works. You don't replace everything with the newest technology. You identify capability gaps. You recognize economic constraints. You build a force structure that wins current conflicts while preparing for future threats. The Air Force did exactly this. They bought the right mix of fighters at the right price for the wars they'll actually fight. The F-15EX isn't a compromise. It's not settling for second best. It's recognizing that air dominance requires more than stealth. It demands volume, availability, cost efficiency, and overwhelming firepower. When you combine F-22 precision with F-35 sensor fusion and F-15EX weapons capacity, you create a synergistic force that no adversary can counter. That's the engineering reality the critics missed. That's why the Air Force bought a 50-year-old design. And that's why the F-15EX will dominate battlespace for the next 50 years.